Hey guys, welcome to the conclusion of the regular season of Season 7 of Midwest Fantasy Football League, Week 13. And this week's the top score. Chris's Brown-Eyed Monster takes down Josh's I win because y'all drafted 132.66 to 97.4. In what may have been the waiver wire find of the year, the Philip Lindsay train keeps trucking on.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers!
Yay!
Notching a 31.4-point game to push him up to the 10th highest scoring running back at the end of the regular season. For Chris, Antonio Brown added in 29.5, Justin Tucker added in 17, and Lamar Jackson, getting the surprise start over Tom Brady, added in 16.5 points. Chris opted to bench Tom Brady against Minnesota's defense, but it only cost him a single point in terms of production. For Josh, he got a massive 35.8-point game from Travis Kelce, 15 points from Tampa Bay's defense, and a pair of 12-point games from his running backs, with 12.3 points coming from Chris Carson and 12.1 coming from Jalen Richard. In this week's biggest blowout, Jason's The Hammock District defeats Nick's Duchess of York 129.4 to 84.75. Needing to get a win, Jason's team came out firing on all cylinders, getting 32.25 points from Tariq Cohen to lead the team, 20 points from Seattle, 19 points from Saquon Barkley, and 4 other double-digit games.
Fire everything!
For Nick, he got 17 points from Tyler Lockett, 15 points from Lamar Miller, and 13 points from Austin Hooper. Opting to start Luck over Wilson cost you 15 points here, but it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. In this week's closest game, Pope 1.0's Pump Squad sends Brandon to a deuce bye with a win over the once-in-a-generations, 97.96 to 96.2. Wow, talk about a comeback. Going into Sunday Night Football, Brandon had a 36-point lead. Pope 1.0 only had the Chargers kicker and Keenan Allen left. Of course, Keenan Allen had his best game of the season and put up a 32.8-point game, and Michael Badgley added 2 PATs and a short field goal for 5 points total, to give Pope the 1.75-point win. Denver's defense added in 14.1 points, and Aaron Jones added in 13.2 points, which could be the start of something now that he's finally been freed from Mike McCarthy's play calling. Then again, it is Joe Philbin's call now, and he's not got a great track record from when he was the head coach in Miami.
I'm free! Dang it!
For Brandon, it's that Mahomes guy again, dropping 33 points to lead his team to the win. Nick Chubb added in 14.7 points, and Allen Robinson chipped in 10.4. In other games, Pope 2.0's Drunk Choir Boys defeats Derek's Girlies Gone Wild 123.1 to 120.7. Pope 2.0 got the win off a solid team performance, having had 6 players who put up more than 14 points, led by 19 from Jared Cook and 17 from Odell Beckham Jr. Derek had his big guns out to play this week, getting 33 points from Todd Gurley, 22.6 from Zeke Elliott, and 22.7 from Jameis Winston. But the injury-plagued Greg Olsen killed you again, getting you only 1.8 points on 1 catch with 13 yards, and now he's officially out for the season. He has just been unable to catch a break these last couple of years with the injuries.
Smite me! Oh, mighty smiter!
Despite the win, Pope 2.0 narrowly misses out on the playoffs, missing the 6th seed by 7 points. Drew's Undercooked Burger beats Lee's I Want Some Butts 120.8 to 100.5. Drew's Christian McCaffrey led this squad with 29.6 points, coming back strong after last week's monster game. Drew also got a quad box of double-digit games, getting 17.8 from Baltimore, Big Ben's 17.25, James White's 15.3, and 14.6 from Dalvin Cook. Lee got 19.3 from Devontae Adams, 16.3 from Robert Woods, and 15.3 from Aaron Rodgers. Should be interesting to see what happens with the Green Bay offense going forward now that it's under some new management.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Finally, my Justin Tucker Must Die ekes past Alex's Funkle Up 85.25 to 78.1. I got 20.9 from James Conner, 16.5 from Cortland Sutton, and 10 points from TJ Yeldon. Alex got 12.8 points from Zach Ertz and 24 points from Phil Rivers, who I heard knocked up his wife again this week with his 8th kid. Phil, I know you're a religious guy and all, but damn, have you considered any other activities with your wife?
Where's the egg?
It's a blowjob again.
That's a blowjob again.
Where are we supposed to go?
Come on.
Where's the egg?
Come on. Let's go back.
Come on.
Damn. What a waste.
Alex had the points to get the win here, but opting to start the wrong Philly wide receiver cost you. Alshon Jeffrey's 4.6 points paled in comparison to the 20 points the Golden Tate put up on Monday Night Football.
I am a golden god!
With the loss, Alex drops his last 4 straight games in the regular season to drop out of the playoffs and into the Deuce playoffs. Those 4 losses largely contributed to Nick sneaking in. After all, he pointed out several times to me today that 4 weeks ago he had a 1.5% chance of making the playoffs, according to my projection models. It's playoff week. Chris and Drew, congratulations on buys in the championship bracket. The first semifinal is Jason versus myself. To this point, I hold the matchup advantage, having a 7-2 regular season record against Jason, with no playoff matchups at this point. Unless you want to count the play-in game at the end of the regular season last year, which I think you beat me in. The other semifinal in the championship bracket is Derek versus Nick. Nick has a 5-4 regular season record, holds the advantage there, but Derek's 1-0 in the playoffs. This one is pretty evenly matched, historically speaking, anyways. In the Deuce playoff, Brandon grabs the number 1 overall seed by 5 points over Josh, who grabs the second bye. Alex plays Pope 1.0 in semifinal 1. Alex holds a 1-0 regular season record, having grabbed the win in the first playoff matchup earlier this season. Pope 2.0 plays Lee in matchup number 2. Pope 2.0 holds a commanding 6-0 regular season record versus Lee all time, which I am sure Lee would like to end that streak right now. Just as a quick reminder for Alex, because this is his first time he's going to play in the Deuce Bowl, you want to get a win, and that will eliminate you from contention here. If you should lose, we'll basically flip your records around and bypass you to the win to play next week. And then the loser of the next 2 games after that will be the Deuce. You have to lose 3 games in a row in the playoffs in order to be the Deuce. Unless you're a bye, then you have to lose 2 games and you get 1 less shot at it. Being it's the last regular week of the regular season, Nick's stat corner is locked and loaded with a whole bunch of stuff this week, so we're going to run through a bunch of things here. Chris notches his 9th weekly high score, his 4th one this season. Week 13 marked our lowest scoring week of the season with a 105.57 average score. Chris and Josh both break their respective record for the longest winning streak and the longest losing streak. Chris goes to 11 wins, and Josh goes to 8 losses. Additionally, Chris sets the all-time score for most wins in a regular season. This is Nick's first season that he didn't win at least 1 high score, so good for everybody else. Jay continues to dominate Nick, moving to 7-2 all-time. Drew womps on Lee again, moving to 6-2 all-time. Scotty B continues rolling over Brandon, moving to 6-1 all-time. The average margin of victory this season was 29.54. A lot of blowouts this year. Average winning score was 130.5, and the average losing score was 100.95. Here's a quick glance at everyone's all-time winning percentages, with the worst winning percentage at the top ranked down to the best winning percentage of all time at the bottom. Switching graphics, everyone's scoring breakdown over the history of the league is on screen right now. A couple noteworthy things. We had a 12.87 average point increase over the last season, largely due, I think, to the NFL's rule changes and not anything that we specifically changed in this league. The only rule change we made this year was the adding of points for 4th down stops for defenses, and I can't imagine that was almost 13 points a week for every team. So Chris has set the mark for season high score with 1,763.8 points, a 135.68 average per week. Drew takes this year's most improved team with a 28.78 average increase over last year, and the least improved goes to Eric with only a 2.85 point increase over last year. And this is the first year in the history of the league that everyone's point averages went up. Good luck this week, guys. It's the first week of the playoffs, and I'm sure everybody will be a little bit nervous. The guys who are on byes, enjoy it. Hopefully you won't have any injuries or suspension concerns this week. See you after next week.